Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe says he was aware a pair of driving charges from his past were going to become public. So this morning, he did it himself.
In 1994, I would just say that in 1994, when I was 20 years old, I was also charged with impaired driving and leaving the scene of an accident. Those charges were later withdrawn because I was not impaired and I did not leave the scene. I exchanged information with the owner of the other vehicle and I called into the accident to the police. Because the charges were withdrawn, the incident has not been part of my public disclosure, but I am doing so now, as I expect to be asked at some point in time, in particular in the environment and the atmosphere that we are operating in here today.
Court records indicate that Moe's charges were stayed less than 2 years after the incident. Now, this is separate from a 1992 conviction for impaired driving.
As you know, I have always talked freely and publicly about my personal past. And as a young man, I admit I have made some poor choices. However, I have learned from those mistakes, and that's not the person that you see before you here today.
In 1997, Moe did not stop when he was supposed to at a rural intersection near the town of Shellbrook. Moe drove onto the highway and collided with the car carrying 39-year-old Joanne Balog and her 18-year-old son, Steve. Moe was given a traffic ticket for driving without due care and attention. Joanne Balog died in the crash. Steve survived. Steve Balog spoke to the media this week. He says he and his younger brother were never aware that Moe was driving the other vehicle. He has asked for a personal apology and to speak to Moe.
I just want everyone to know that none of this is really about me. This is about Joanne Balog and justice for her from what appears to be a repeat offender.
Moe says any discussion with the victim's family will be done in private.
This discussion occurs, I am going to reach out and offer my apology to the family. I will be reaching out to the family of the lady that was, of Joanne that was in the vehicle. I will be offering my apology. And again, this is something that is very personal to me. So when this discussion occurs, I feel it's important that it occurs in a very meaningful way, and I don't believe that the politically charged atmosphere, the politically charged environment of a campaign is the appropriate time for this discussion to occur. So, like I said, this is something that is very, very personal, deeply personal to me. It's something that I, from here on, will not be discussing publicly again, and I would ask you to respect that.
NDP leader Ryan Miley says he has more questions.
It's concerning. This election, the Premier keeps saying this election is about trust, and I think he's right. And I think it really is important to be open and clear with the people of Saskatchewan. Now, Mr. Moe has, I think, quite a lot more questions to answer, and we'll wait to see what he has to say.
Both the Saskatchewan Party and the NDP have disclosed candidates with impaired driving convictions. 6 for the Saskatchewan Party, including Moe, and 5 for the NDP. Adam Hunter, CBC News, Regina.